learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
Chad, no, okay, listen. Good morning, good evening, but before we start this video, we need a moment of silence for Snapchat. They came out with guidance after hours well below what they already guided down with last quarter, but literally it is wreaking havoc across the board on all of these stocks. Now, that's why we went from plus 500% to now, by the time I'm done with this video, we might very well go negative, and I don't know if I should be proud of this or not, but this release, this guidance was so big, it has even dropped the S&P about 4 points since it came out. Snapchat, Facebook, Pinterest, they are all getting wrecked, and now we need to talk about what this means, and literally pairing this with what we got tomorrow and even the rest of the week with consumer stocks, it very well may change the vibe. And even then, last time we saw this out of Snapchat, 6 months later, it really did start to hit everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got the watch list. It's kind of somber here. Not really. I'm still excited. Don't worry, baby. But we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of events for tomorrow. A lot of things happen today. I was going to talk about diamond hands. Not diamond hands, but like Jamie Dimon. The bank stock saved the market today. Had a little bit of risk on attitude, but it wasn't enough, man. It was not enough. I think the markets are still green, though. So we got to talk about what we got tomorrow, the plays that we made today, and then really what we need to be focusing on and how it's going to play out. I will tell you right now, a lot of people are saying, are we going to go higher? Are we going to go lower? What's going to happen? It is a lot like last week. We have certain events, certain catalysts, and depending on how they play out, that will really give us the opportunity to interpret and respond quickly. But I'm telling you, this news after hours, it is not good at all. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. First link below. We will see you there in the morning. But as far as what happened today, like I said, diamond hands, a big part of what you saw today. The banks absolutely killed it today. And it was because of JP Morgan's investor conference. JP Morgan came out, they raised their guidance on what they're expecting, said things are going good, and even Jamie Dimon said, listen, I don't think there's going to be a recession, there's storm clouds, that's what he called it, but he said they may dissipate. So people like that, it got the financials going crazy, and as you can see here, the banks were the leader, and then we also had energy, but the banks was the first big thing, and now related to energy, we talked about this the other day, we were saying this stuff is something you want to keep watching on because it is slowly getting worse and worse. And now as we start to enter summer and even buying seasons for people to prepare, that has been driving things up. But the other big driver today, it had to do with China and then also that Asian meeting that Joe Biden was on. They made an agreement with like 12 different countries out there. It's looking good. And the thing that was positive today, Joe Biden made a statement regarding the tariffs, pretty much insinuating that they may be able to remove them. And that was a big positive. That's what started the risk-off move, literally from the lows of Friday till the highs of today, not including the Snapchat stuff. We moved about 17 points. It is absolutely huge. But there was definitely a risk-on tone. People like the banks, people like the China comments. Even Biden, he messed up. It was weird. The White House already walked it back, but he even said he would defend Taiwan, which broke the strategy of strategic ambiguity. That's what they call it. But that was pretty much all of the drivers today. You even got comments by Raphael Bostic. You've heard him a couple of times. He's on the Fed. He said they may pause raising rates in September, but then he started talking about raising more than half a basis point. So we're going to see how that plays out. Nothing too crazy. I said it on stream today. If there was going to be a chill day, it was probably going to be today because now tomorrow we are going to have a lot of events. So one, we need to watch how we're going to respond to this. Again, the fact that Facebook is down 7% off of Snapchat's news. That tells you something, but now all these social media companies are clapped. You're going to have a little bit of worry as we wake up tomorrow, but now within the first 15 minutes of open, and now you got to be careful of any pump fakes, you're going to get all of the ISM data. So that's going to be important, but it's not the biggest thing. We are actually going to hear from Powell tomorrow. So Powell speaking 9:30, I believe, a.m. my time, and I'm not too sure what he's going to be talking about, but again, everybody wants to hear what he says. Anytime he speaks, we've gotten a reaction. Lately, it's been positive, then sells off, but that is going to be the big driver. Then again, Wednesday, you're getting all of that, but now to tie this all in, if Snapchat, Facebook, all these social media companies are clapped right now, the thing you got to watch tomorrow is the earnings. If Advanced Auto Parts, Ralph Lauren, and a couple of other names do bad, that will not be good. Thankfully, Zoom after hours, they actually beat. It was very, very surprising, so that may chill things out, but overall, we want to see how things play out and if the fear comes back, but unfortunately, we have already gotten bad news, but now it's going to be responding to the data, seeing what happens with the consumer, and then keep that eye on commodities to see if things keep playing out as they have been, because right now, agriculture, it is a worry and it is a big warning. Again, even at Davos, the UN food counselors, they said something about it. I don't know the position, but they were saying that it is actually getting worse than the Arab Spring and something we haven't seen before. And like we're saying, they're getting ready to start buying oil to even store it up. It is starting to get a little bit weird. So keep all of that in mind. Today was a simple day. It was feeling nice all the way up till after hours. Again, I wasn't expecting it, but look at this, man. Even on the scanner, one of the top plays today was Snapchat puts. They knew. But let's get into the plays. Let's talk about it because we did make a couple today, but now I want to talk about what we've been bringing up with option pricing, the market makers scamming you, and now everyone's asking, how do you know if something is cheap or expensive right now? It has everything to do with the break even. So here are all the plays that I made today. You could kind of get the breakdown. I did add one more with a PDUFA. It's a biotech. We're going to talk about it. I grabbed 100 of those AXL shares. We brought this one up yesterday. Remember, they are exploring a takeover. They were $8 pre-market. They opened up a little bit lower. I grabbed 100 shares, kept it small, $691, grabbed those, and then Ralph Lauren. This is what I did, and this is going to be big. They're going to report tomorrow pre-market. We're going to see what happens. Again, retail consumer stock, that's why. But I did what I did with the AMAT, and this is what I want you guys to see. I went short 100 shares between 93.18 and 93, and then you could see what I did right after. I bought a June contract, a 110 for $1.55. So why did I do this? Because I went short on the shares, meaning if it goes up or down, I'm making dollar for dollar, but now by buying a call, I pretty much turned an unlimited loss position, and I was able to cap it out. Now hang with me, because this is how you're going to determine whether or not an option is expensive. If you don't notice at this point, I am literally using options as they were originally created, as insurance. I shorted a stock, and to make sure I don't expose myself to upside risk, I am buying a call to limit it. Now, you saw Zoom after hours. Everybody thought they were going to do bad. They actually ended up killing it. So this is the reason why we do it. So now run the numbers a little bit. I'm short at $93. I have a call at 110. So what this is saying is that if the stock goes up to 110, if I'm short at 93 bucks, that means, $7 to get to 100. That's $700 loss, and then add that other 10, that is $1,700. That is the max I could lose, but now I paid $1.55 for that contract, and then by expiration, even break even on that contract, I have to add another $155. So pretty much I could lose about $1,700 max. That's the whole idea, because again, this thing can move a lot, but then very well, if it drops below 155, the idea here is my insurance is only $1.55. I have a little bit of upside risk. It's still expensive, but I'm able to cap this out. So you watch me do this with AMAT. We're going to see what happens in the morning, but now this is how I want you to figure out if an option is expensive or not. keep looking at the break evens. It is telling you what's going on with all this. So the fact that I was able to take a short on a stock that could have moved this amount, and the max, risk I'm going to take is about $1,700, that's actually very good comparatively. And it's the reason why I didn't go with something closer to the money, because one, the break evens were higher. I would have had to spend a little bit more. It really depends on how you play it, because again, when you go further out the money and raise the strike price, that is literally increasing your break even. But then when I looked at some of the other earnings plays, like even Costco, or what was the other one, even Zoom today, it cost a lot more money to play any sort of similar play. So this is what I want you guys to keep in mind. Just ask yourself, if you were going to treat the option as it should be used, as if you were going to either buy shares and short them and then use the option as insurance, would it make sense for you to do that play? And that right there, the ranges and numbers it provides through the break evens, that will tell you if it is expensive or not. The higher the break evens, the more expensive the contract. The lower and the tighter the range, the cheaper it's going to be. So we're going to watch how this plays out. This was the second play that we made today, but definitely keep your eyes out for this. But like we brought up last week, again, if the premiums are not really hitting good and the premiums are high and we're getting this volatility, literally last 2 days we're on fire, we get any news, depending on what we get, and we go back down, it is going to make the premiums a lot more difficult. So this is a strategy we are going to probably be doing a lot. But there was that. The only other play that I made today was VMware. And again, you see, I grabbed shares. They had the buyout, but news came in later at the day that the buyout offer was going to be a lot higher than where they were at. They said the deal would close by Thursday, and it gave it a 140 valuation. So I said, all right, got like $20 a share. Let's go for it. But I got in at like 122. I kind of fat fingered it, came back down. But I think by tomorrow, my goal is just to make a couple $100 and flip it. So we will see what happens. I could even sell a covered call, but if the spreads are very large, if you're selling a covered call on this type of play, remember, you could sell the covered call, but if the spread is huge, if you want to buy back and sell out the shares, it actually may end up hurting you. So keep that one in mind. But there was that. And then finally, I did make one more play. I grabbed a VRCA for June, a 1250 contract. Only grabbed one for literally $10. Again, nothing too expensive. And why? It is a biotech play. They have a PDUFA tomorrow. That's pretty much an FDA approval. If that ends up being good, they might be able to go, but at least we got to play it for a small risk. So those were the main plays. As far as what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, commodities and energy are going to be a big focus. Again, got a USDA report after hours, and it is not looking good. Again, just less amount of crops being planted. I'm like stuttering about it. It's pretty wild. Pretty much, I think we're planting about 30% capacity compared to what we actually had last year. So gonna see how those play out. If it gets a little jumpy there, especially with more people even talking about it at Davos. But there's that. And then the only other plays, watch the social media stocks, watch the consumer plays if they get clapped. Again, you're watching big moves on Zoom. You're gonna see what happens with Ralph Lauren. But now I think the Snapchat news is gonna get people a little shaky. But Costco is a very big one this week alongside some of the other retailers. Those are going to be the ones that I'm going to be focusing on, and then just responding to what we got. And I probably should have put this here at the beginning, but essentially this is what I was saying here, is that now as we move forward for the data, if the manufacturing data is really bad and even worse than expected, now that people have guided lower, again, people have already changed their estimates over the last week. If it comes in any lower, then that will be very, very bearish. Or if Powell says anything along the lines of pricing power, or even gives us a hint into the minutes, and it is something new like last time, that will be bearish. And then we are going to have to see, like I said from the beginning, you're probably going to get a lot of volatility in the morning because the data comes out right after close, and then the Snapchat stuff, we do not know how it's going to play out. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're locked in, but it's going to get crazy. And like we said, be fluid this week. We're going to have a lot on our plate, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet on. I need you to remember, baby, God is the architect, but you are the carpenter. You build your future. So use the tools, use good materials, and Chad, just get ready. These next 5 months, oh my gosh, but we in it. And you already got the strength. You've already made it this far, baby. But I love you. Have a wonderful evening. Have a good night's sleep. And still, okay, moment of silence. Snapchat. Isn't it sad? It's sad, but you know, it was good times, and I'm never going to forget all the other times that we've been through with Snapchat. And And, it was good. And I'm glad I own things. It's weird that AbiVi is like now making us just as much money as it, but it's just so weird. I'm sorry, I can't shut up. Moment of silence. Okay, that was too long. I love you, Chad. Have a wonderful evening. Peace out, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.